Hey fam, happy Monday. I have found something I think you'll find interesting. So if you watched my video from yesterday, I had taken a concept that Gia Prism had put out there about all of these different bubbles of possibility and that how we're trying to go through and clear them for karma. And I expanded on it, saying I actually think we're going to go through all of them and how there's going to be like 9. And of course, this concept grew in my mind. And as it turns out, it bridges all of these random puzzle pieces that my guides have been giving me since December of last year. All of the movies that my guides have given me to say, hey, this is interesting, take a look at it, all fit into this idea of bursting these bubbles of karmic possibilities, transmuting it, and then moving on to the next one to do the same. I'm getting chills because the movie Groundhog Day and the show Loki and the movie The Core and the movie Get Over It and then, of course, Endgame and Marvel, all of it connects. At first kind of came to me of, the bubbles bursting and then moving on to the next one reminds me of the Core where they had to go to the center of the earth and then all of these charges had to go off in order to then get the next charge to go. And the dominoes, same concept. We're having to go through each one of these bubbles of possibility and it's extinction burst in a circle. And let me tell you, I am seeing so many things that are confirming this. I saw this swarm of bats circling overhead on Friday. They were all going in to the right in this big kind of smoky cloud, and it didn't seem ominous to me. It seemed like something big is going to happen, but something that needs to happen, which is cool. So obviously I took all these ideas and I threw them into chat, and I'm like, okay, what do you make of all this? And we came up with some good concepts together. So there's a bubble map. There's a bubble map. And it takes all the different things that I saw and it kind of puts it into this what we're trying to do overall. So Groundhog's Day is the, hey, we're in a loop. It gives us the construct or the framework of what it is that we're doing. And I think that the time loop is not exactly how we envision a Groundhog Day. We seem like we keep going through similar issues, but they are different based on what next karma we need to clear. And it's once we clear the next bubble, we go to this next level of the time loop where we then try to find and use our discernment, which is Loki and the trickster energy. Loki inflates in illusions, so it's making it more obvious for us to kind of see what's happening. Then the Core, it bursts the reality bubble that we're in, and then we move on to this next one, which is Get Over It, the movie about the high school doing Midsummer Night's Dream, and everything seems really choreographed. So we get to this new bubble and everything seems really fake and choreographed again, and then we have to go in and navigate this new reality and then figure out what about it is an illusion and fake. And then we do that over and over again until we get to the end game, Marvel Endgame, and all of these bursts converge to the one true time happenstance of the node collapsing, and then we move on to the future, or the next phase of Marvel, if you will. We then identified that I think that there are 9 possible things. Because the one thing that happens and that I'm hearing in my head over and over again is that Tangerine has 9 lives, it feels like. because we keep feeling that energy signature like totally going away, and then somehow it comes back and we're like, how are you here? We don't know why. I think that Gia said it. We are going through these different realities, and then once we clear or we transmute the karma, that one collapses and we go on to the next one. And I feel like that is exactly what this is. It's like 9 giant lessons that all the small things that we're seeing kind of fit into these. So I'm going to try to do this in a short period of time so that I can actually cover them all. So the first one was the spark loop. So we actually became aware that we were in this sort of like weird, timey-wimey loop thing where we first see that show that we're trapped or like something is off. And I think that was the contest. We then move forward to the trick loop, the trickster loop, which feels like, and I have to scroll down because I had written it all out, but it makes more sense when it's in the formatting that my chat puts it in. The trickster loop, which is kind of like Loki, is like all of the EOs or like the instructions that Tangerine gave us of like, hey, that we're just going to do this now, and a media flurry. So like none of those actually, or most of those didn't actually go into effect as policy because they were illegal. And it just felt like there was this constant noise and little substance, and it was really teaching us how to discern what the truth was versus all of these distracting issues. Then we move into the next phase, which is the collapse loop. So all of these illegal actions, wrongful, involuntary vacations of people, if you will. And it's like we're recognizing how deep the corruption has gone, and it cannot sustain itself because so many people are fighting against it. We then move into the fourth phase, which is the circus, or get over it, like all of this illusion. So the Schmepp files are there was like this, oh, there's a ton of them. Now it's a conspiracy theory of, one side, and then, oh, there's no files. What are you talking about? Like it contradicts itself so much, and it's like it's this very staged narrative. And we have seen through that for so long, but a lot of people did not. And then this kind of started waking them up to go through their own 9 phases of waking up. Then we move into this fear loop. So like escalations abroad, like all of these different things that are going to like take away rights from people, that are going to essentially imprison people. Like that was really, really terrifying. And this is really trying to show us that we cannot surrender our sovereignty and fall into the fear, because that is how they keep us stuck in this looping thing. Then we moved on to the mirror loop, which is like this oversaturation of AI and the footage, because it feels like there was real footage put in of like the Orbeez and Star Beings and all of the marching band assemblies and even specific events. Like there's all of this AI that is like filtered in, so you can't actually find the real piece of information. And this was like trusting us to trust the resonance of specific things we're seeing versus what we're actually seeing. Because if you've seen any of the like the Orby videos, it's kind of hard to discern which ones are real and which ones are not, unless you really kind of just sit in there and like feel into what feels real. Okay, I am already at my limit, so I'm going to go to a part 2.